I think that you will spend 40,000 hours of your life, maybe 60,000 hours of your life trying to make money. It is worthwhile to spend 100 hours of your life figuring out how to keep it.
Welcome back to the channel. Aaron here from the Bitcoin Bros. We're going to be getting into some MSTR updates here, Bitcoin news. Have a clip at the end that I want to play for you guys, so stay tuned for all of that. And we have Michael Saylor tweeting here. He says, needs even more orange from the Saylor portfolio tracker. There's going to be another orange dot added tomorrow on Monday. And put your predictions of how much Bitcoin you think Strategy will buy in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. They're going to probably at least be buying $722 million from the STRF offering that closed last week. I'm sure they ran through all that during the week. That's going to be at least 7,000 Bitcoin that they're going to be hodling there from just this week alone from this offering. But we'll see if they hit the ATM from Strike or if they hit the MSTR ATM to accumulate even more Bitcoin. We'll see that tomorrow. But if I had to guess, they're going to be somewhere between 720 million to 850 million. That's my guess for how much Bitcoin Strategy has bought over the past week. And then a little bit of an update here from Jesse. He's talking about Strife. They announced their pricing of Strife at $85 per share. So that means 11.8 annual dividend. U.S. Treasury bills currently offer only 4.2%, and this is what we talked about in a previous video. Strife is targeting that $300 trillion fixed income bond market. Saylor only wants 1% of the fixed income market, which would be $3 trillion, going through Strife and a little bit through Strike. He wants to take that 1%, which would be $3 trillion, use that and buy Bitcoin. That could be a game changer for MSTR going forward because that is highly accretive. These are perpetual. Strife is perpetual, which means that there is never going to be any margin call on Strife. Perpetual literally means continuing forever. So this offering could be huge for MSTR going forward. And I think a lot of people really don't understand what it is as of yet, but they're really targeting that huge bond market, the $300 trillion bond market. And we look at that a couple of videos ago, that is projected to rise over the next 5 to 10 years at around a 12 CAGR. So you can do the math on that, but that means that that $300 trillion market is going to continue to grow exponentially. And Saylor only wants 1% of that. And then a little bit of an update here on the Bitcoin proxies. This is a sheet that was shared over on Twitter. I thought it was pretty interesting. It shows the MNAV for some of these Bitcoin proxies. You can see MSTR is at around 1.82. You have Marathon at 1.11. You have Hive at 0.92, which means the Bitcoin that they hodl, 250 million, is actually more than the market cap that they have. But a lot of interesting data here from the Bitcoin proxies. I just wanted to put this on the screen so you guys can check it out. Pause the video, look at some of the stats here. Just thought it was pretty cool to compare and contrast where some of these Bitcoin proxies are right now. And the green means that this could be undervalued because the market cap is actually lower than the Bitcoin holdings. And the ones that are super overvalued would be something like BTDR, which their market cap's around 1.7 billion, but only has around 90 million of Bitcoin. So that would be considered overvalued. I mean, there's definitely a lot of other factors that go into the market cap than just that, but that's how you can kind of view this chart here. Then looking back on Friday, MSTR coming in at number 8 at $6 billion of volume in the top actively traded U.S. stocks for Friday. We're down 10%, had a little bit of a sell-off there. The market has been selling off with the Trump tariffs. There's a lot of uncertainty in the traditional markets. Bitcoin has fallen because of it. Basically, since Trump has entered office, the entire stock market has sold off, and Bitcoin has sold off right along with it. But nothing has changed with Bitcoin. Nothing has changed with MSTR. Actually, a lot has changed with MSTR, but it's only made MSTR better since January with the new offerings that we're seeing with Strike and Strife, targeting the fixed income market. So MSTR has actually gotten better, but the price has gotten cheaper. That could be a buy the dip opportunity. And if you need somewhere to buy MSTR, you can do that with MooMoo. We have an affiliate link. You sign up, you can get up to 30 free stocks valued up to $2,000 each. And you can see that you can trade options on MooMoo. It's pretty good brokerage. You can see Bitcoin is currently sitting at around 82.6. But you guys can check that out if you want to. That will be in the comment section below and the link in the description. So let's go ahead and get into some Bitcoin news here. And you can see right here, this is a chart that we have been looking at for a while now. This particular chart is from Colin Talks Crypto, where he actually said the offset to look at is going to be around 105 days when you're comparing global M2 and Bitcoin. And he predicted the mini rally that potentially fails. We had that mini rally for Bitcoin where we went up to around 89,000, and now we're falling back down. And according to his chart that he's looking at, he's expecting an April 30th, May 1st blast off. So late April is where he's expecting Bitcoin to start to trend back up and potentially hit new all-time highs, because M2 was hitting new all-time highs here when you're looking at that 105-day offset from both of those two. So we'll see how this plays out going forward, but it hasn't been a great indicator over the past couple of years. Bitcoin has followed M2 very, very closely, especially when you look at this 105-day offset. And we have a lot of big Bitcoin buying coming really, really soon. So you can see here we have Marathon. They're going to be raising $2 billion to buy Bitcoin, which will probably close next week. That's going to be 23,000 Bitcoin taken off the table. GME, they're offering a 1.3 billion, I believe closes tomorrow. So that's going to be around 15,300 Bitcoin. And with GME, they not only have the $1.3 billion offering, they're also sitting on around $4 billion to $5 billion of cash. So they may use some of that cash to buy Bitcoin. We really don't know how GME is going to play the strategy to accumulate Bitcoin, but it could be more than just this 1.3 billion. They may take some of that cash and buy Bitcoin as well. We had MicroStrategy buy 6,900 Bitcoin last week, but this week I think it's going to be a little bit more, like I talked about earlier in the video. I think it's going to be at least $700 million from the Strife offering that closed last week. And he's just mentioning here in this post that a handful of corporations bought over 15 times the supply that was mined last week. And this isn't accounting for the ETFs or any other retail buying or any of the potential countries that have been buying Bitcoin and putting it on their reserves. So there's a lot of buying pressure for Bitcoin right now. It does seem like the Bitcoin gold race is on, and it's just going to take some time for the price of Bitcoin to reflect that. And obviously, once Bitcoin goes up, the Bitcoin proxies are going to do well. Then you have BitDeer. They're giving an update here. They increased 27 Bitcoin. They're holding 1,143 Bitcoin. So this is a Bitcoin miner, and they have a Bitcoin hodl, and it's at 1,143 Bitcoin. That is pretty good to see there. Core Scientific, they increased their Bitcoin hodl to 940 Bitcoin. So now they're holding almost 1,000. I think their goal is probably to get 1,000 to be able to get included in some of those ETFs, where it has the details of, hey, if you want to be included in this ETF, you need at least 1,000 Bitcoin. Looks like they're striving to get there. And really interesting post here from Meet Kevin. He's saying, wow, Michael Saylor direct attack on Tesla to pick a fight. Ironic, given Tesla was one of the first to hold Bitcoin treasuries. Maybe Saylor should spend more of his time propping up his 30% software sales operating margin, unless software is just a cover for Ponzi. Really interesting to see that some people are still calling MicroStrategy a Ponzi, and this is just data Saylor is sharing. I don't think he's taking an attack on Tesla, NVIDIA, Google, Apple, the Mag 7. I think he's just showing data. Over the past 3 months, MicroStrategy is only down 4%. While Tesla's down 37%, MicroStrategy's actually outperformed Bitcoin in that time period. Does that mean Saylor is directly attacking Bitcoin? I don't think so. I think he's just showing data here. And it's just funny that people still call strategy a Ponzi when all he's really doing is trying to get as much of the hardest money in the world. Interesting, but we need people like this so Bitcoin doesn't just go straight to the moon. We need somebody to short it, and I think over time we'll figure out who's going to be right about that and who's going to be wrong. But thank you for watching all the way to the end. My name is Aaron from Bitcoin Bros. I'm out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, and make sure to check out this clip here. Let's go ahead and check that out.
This is a 30-year chart of returns on the S&P index. And this chart tells you that if you missed one day, there's one day every year when 85%, 90% of all of the gains come. One day. And there are 36 hours a year when all investment return takes place. So in 365 days, nothing happens 99.5% of the time. This is why we have the laser eyes. This is why we say hodl. Because, and I have said before, trading Bitcoin is a sign of lesser intellect.